who do you plan on supporting for president come 2020?
I voted for Trump, but if Trump doesn't do what he promised, I'm probably going to vote for Andrew Yang.
Really? So, what is it that you're looking for him to fulfill?
Well, I would like a wall, but soon. He's doing good on the trade war. He's actually getting aggressive on it.
So if you were to vote for Andrew Yang, would Andrew Yang build a wall?
Andrew Yang was pretty aggressive on immigration. A lot of his talks were aggressive on immigration. Not as aggressive as Trump, but they seem both pretty milquetoast at this point to me.
Have you heard about Andrew Yang's policies on policing free speech? He wants to have a news ombudsman that polices the press and holds them criminally accountable for things that they say.
No, I didn't hear about that.
Yeah.
No.
What about his stances on the Equality Act? He wants to push forward policies that make it so businesses will lose their federal funding if they don't allow transgender people to use whatever bathrooms.
That's not really fair, but I would let that go if conservatives stop getting banned online. I think there got to be a trade-off somewhere, right? Mm-hmm. So I think if you want equality stuff like that, if we got equality stuff like being able to speak online freely, I think I'd be okay with that.
Well, Yang doesn't want to let people speak freely. He wants to police the press. He literally, on his website, he says he wants to have a news ombudsman where he wants to police the press and hold them criminally for things they say.
I think some people do need to, like just recently CNN and the Daily Dot were going after a kid was it not a kid, a forklift operator in like New Jersey that made a meme video. So some people need to be held accountable sometimes.
Well, don't you think those people can sue and essentially win lawsuits? Like the Covington kid filed a lawsuit for $250 million against the media companies that smeared him. So don't you think it would be up to those people to choose to sue them and win damages, not necessarily have the government tell you can't say things, or that the government will hold you criminally liable or criminally charged?
Yeah, but sometimes, the Covington kid is still ongoing. Sometimes those people just get buried in appeals and court fees, and by the time they're done, they don't get much, So stuff like that usually gets drowned in appeal court.
So what is the First Amendment?
Freedom of speech, right?
And freedom of press.
Yeah.
So if we start holding the press criminally for things they report on, is that freedom of press?
I think to an extent, freedom of speech even has its limits, right? So freedom of press has to have its limits as well. Like a good example would be Trump kicked people out of the press house, the White House press house, several times, which I'm in support for. He kicked, I forget the CNN guy's name, but he kicked him out several times because he was being Is it okay if I swear?
Well, I know what you're saying, and he removed them from the White House's room, which they were given credentials for, and not every single press outlet in America is even given access to that room.
Yeah.
But he's not telling them they no longer can operate as a news organization. He's not criminally charging Jim Acosta. That's what Andrew Yang has talked about doing in his policies for news ombudsman.
I think some authority is good. There's checks and balances, but I think some authority is good. It's been free press this entire time, and it's only been a detriment, hasn't it? It only gets worse and worse.
Don't you think it's a good thing that we've had a lot of light expose the swamp? All this criminal corruption has been exposed because of the press's ability to get information out.
But yeah, I guess you have two arguments for that, right? You experience it firsthand by seeing how bad the mainstream media is, and then you have all the free press like you guys that expose it. I guess that's a fair argument.
But see, someone like Andrew Yang might want to take my ability away to report.
Yeah. I guess you never really know until something happens, right?
That's why it's a slippery slope.
Yeah. There's tons of things that are slippery slope. This month is the month of slippery slope. So.
Yeah.
But I guess, if Trump, it's right around the corner, but if Trump, keeps me happy, I'll vote for him, but.
Do you think what would you say the most important thing for you is? You say building the wall, But what about a president that actually will uphold the Constitution?
I mean, I think, controversially, I think the Constitution is good, but it's secondary to immigration and demographic. But I think, and then that's secondary. Then rights would be secondary, and then thirdly would be economy.
What about the Second Amendment? Do you support gun rights?
Yeah, I don't own any guns, but I want to. I support people that own guns.
Have you looked into Andrew Yang's policies on guns?
No.
He wants gun control, very, very rigid gun control.
I mean, tons of people do.
Yeah.
So, I mean, even some Republicans want it. So, I mean, it's stupid, but, yeah, it's dumb.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I hope you look into and research the political candidates of your choosing to find what best suits all of the policies that you agree with.
Thank you. Thank you for talking to me.
Yes, thank
Have
you.
a nice day.
You too.
They've not shut down our speech. We're at Infowars.com and Newswars.com, and we're defeating the leftist tyrants.
I got mobbed on the streets by fans, but almost all of them said, "We used to love you on air. It was so good to see you on, the iTunes or on YouTube. Are you coming back?" We're at Infowars.com. We're at Newswars.com. Paul Watson's launched his own Summit.news. We have our own videos. We have our own articles. They're trying to destroy us, but thanks to you and others having us on, Infowars is still chugging along. So we're there, folks. Tomorrow's news today.
Infowars.com, man. Woo! Infowars.com, because that's a bunch of people out here. I know about Infowars.com.
I'm at Infowars.com and Newswars.com.
There you go.
We knew this censorship was coming forever. We have our own video streams, our own audio streams, and it's all free to air. Anybody can use it, re-upload it, do whatever you want. People go to Infowars.com and Newswars.com. That's where they find it. There's things called websites. You just go there.